Yes, of course it will feel that way, but I agree. I think they've had a terrific season and they're building something there. Whether they can keep it together is the big question, but they've come on leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
They're improving as a squad, and it was disappointing. I mean, you know, first half I thought they were well in the game. Could have been either way, and the penalty decision, the poor decision, in my opinion, 2 decisions, is really hurt them, isn't it?
And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Wolves. We'll hear from the manager, of course, but we also have to turn our attention to what still looks like a brilliant semi-final in European competition, Sevilla against Manchester United. That's a proper game of football for us at the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. There's 4 strong teams left in the competition, and they all believe they can win this. Obviously, Seville now must be deemed one of the favourites due to the fact they've got to this position again, and you can't look past them, really.
Who's the favourite for you now? We now know the 4 teams that are in the semi-finals. What are you saying?
I think it's between United and Seville. Whoever wins that, I think, will win it. But they just know, they just understand how to win in this competition. That I said before the game, they've got that belief, that sort of knowing that they're going to perhaps do well again. They're already in the semi-finals, and you just think, yeah, they've been there and done it, and that's the club, and all, they're all buying into that. So it's going to have to be a good performance from United to knock them out.
Don't write off Shakhtar, though. I mean, they've demolished Basel this evening, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. A very convincing win. But for me, Inter are too strong. Having seen them yesterday, they know exactly how to play to their strengths. They're very efficient in what they do. And with Lukaku in the form he's in, it's going to be formidable for Shakhtar to get anything out of that game.
OK, right, let's just quickly tell you then what we've got lined up for you. We have got the European semi-finals, and this is how they shape up here on BT Sport. Sevilla against Manchester United. Join us from 7 o'clock on Sunday evening, BT Sport 1 and BT Sport Ultimate. Inter against Shakhtar Monday from 7:30. And, of course, we're also your home of the Champions League as well. You can see tomorrow evening from 7 o'clock, Atalanta against PSG. From Thursday at 7 o'clock, Leipzig against Atletico. Friday, look at these games, Barca against Bayern, and then on Saturday, Manchester City against Lyon. All of those right here on BT Sport 1. So there you go then, I'm afraid to say a 7th place finish in the league. Defeat this evening, no European football next season for Wolverhampton Wanderers. It's the team who every time they've got to the quarter-finals of this competition have gone on to win it. Sevilla are into the semi-finals. They will play Manchester United on Sunday.
Nuno, commiserations today. I know that you dared to dream, and dreams can sometimes be broken in such a cruel fashion. What are the feelings at the end of that game today after putting in such a great performance, particularly defensively?
Yes, frustration in the last minute, something that happened to us too many times. Require focus on a set piece. But proud of the boys. I think we play a tough team. And we were organized. We had moments that could, small details, small margins. It's all about that's how happens in football. But yeah, we came this far. Now it's over. Let's rest and look for the future.
Was there any chance of it being fatigue? It's been such a long season for you, and I know sometimes you can mentally switch off when it's so difficult. You're coming to the end. Did the players perhaps have the idea that extra time was coming?
No, it was not about thinking extra time. They made us run. They made us run, and we made a big effort to control. But of course, there were players in the pitch that give everything, and of course the legs and the brain doesn't work so good. But like I said before, I think we must be proud of ourselves and admitting that we made some mistakes during this season that we have to rectify to be able to compete in a higher level, because the Premier League and Europe, we play against tough opponents, and if we must work harder on small details so we become stronger, and these situations and happen again, and we be able to compete against such a good team.
But there was another incident at the beginning, of course, Raul's missed penalty. It looked like the Sevilla keeper was off his line and the players were encroaching the area as well. Should that penalty have been retaken? Should VAR picked up on it?
I didn't saw the images. But if you tell me that, VAR shouldn't allow it, but I didn't saw the image, so I cannot give us a fair opinion on it.
And if I tell you it looked quite definitive, does that hurt even more, the feeling that you are in
now
right
we
now?
cannot do anything about it. It's one more detail that will make us even more sad than we are now.
No European football next season, of course, now, but how much that doesn't take away from the success that you've had over the last 13 months. It's been such a long season and your players have overcome so many challenges to be here, haven't they? You must be proud, as you say, of that journey in itself.
Yeah, we are here because we did things really good the previous season, and we did really good. We made the same classification with more points. Things that doesn't happen, but European football is something that we chase because we want to improve. And if we want to improve and compete against the best ones, European football is just one more detail, because the Premier League is challenging enough. It's almost like playing Champions League every week. So honestly, nothing that can disturb the work that the players have been doing, and they will be ready for the next one.
And what will you do then between now and the season? Get some rest and reflect on what's been a great campaign, and just look forward to fighting to get back into Europe again? Is that the aim?
It's a short break. You cannot stop and start again. We have to now prepare well this period that we have to rest, and prepare really well the beginning of it. This is what we look, and the best way is look at things, how we did things. It's a small squad. We must be very proud. And now we need to make good decisions, so we cannot make mistakes like we did before. We need more players that can help us.
I know it hurts today, but have you enjoyed the journey, the Europa League adventure?
Enjoy. I think everybody. A word to our fans back in Wolverhampton. I think we miss them. Everything could be different with their presence. This is a moment that we should, but the pandemic didn't allow us to be together. But for sure, the future is bright for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nuno.
It absolutely is. Well done, the players. Congratulations, I think, to Wolves for what they've brought us this season, both in the Premier League and in European competition. 33 days, and the season starts again for them, so it hasn't got long to work out who stays, who goes, who he brings in and things. As you can see, Peter Walton's joined us again. Look, Peter, it is frustrating because we only ever get a chance to speak to you when there's been a bit of an issue with a refereeing decision. The more we look at the penalty that, in hindsight, has really cost Wolves very dear this evening, we focused on the goalkeeper on the line. We now need to also talk about encroachment into the box from the defenders. If you're the VAR officials, surely the first two questions you ask yourself is, goalkeeper on the line, anyone encroaching? Let's check that first.
That's quite correct, Jake, and we've discussed the goalkeeper on the line, but the more important one for me is the encroachment side of things, but the VAR should also be checking to make sure that it's a legitimate penalty kick. And as we can see here, there was what encroachment by the defender, but not only did the defender gets directly involved in the play. And under the law, if an encroachment happens in that instance where the defender gets directly involved in play, the kick should have been retaken and it should have been picked up by the VAR.
This is so frustrating, guys. Look, Peter, thank you. But it's so frustrating because, you know, we've already said this is a season that's gone on for over a year for Wolves. They weren't the best team tonight. They didn't have a shot on target after that penalty. But if you've got VAR and you've got access to that technology, you just can't get those things wrong in those instances.
Not if that is your sole job to do and look for. It's like Peter said there, he's not just going in the box. If he's in the box and he doesn't affect the play, then you can kind of get on with it. The fact that he's actually cleared the ball from the save is remarkable, that no one's picked up on it. Yeah, we didn't catch it first time, but that's your job to do and see. Then I don't know how you missed it.
See, that one's fractions.
Yeah.
That's the foot one. OK, well, we still think that it should have been retaken because of that. But the other one's easy. It's not even difficult. You know, everyone, there's no debate. You're seeing there, as the ball's being played, he's got his foot well over the line and he's in, and he's cleared it. It was Carlos who actually brought Traore down as well, ironically. But that should have been retaken. OK, we don't know what would have happened. Jimenez might have missed again, I don't know, but there's every likelihood to put it in the back of the net. And the complexion of the game would have been completely different.
Yeah. What's the process, Peter, that they go through in the VAR booth at this point?
Well, at that point, then there's two people in the booth. There's the VAR and his assistant VAR, and they would both be looking at the broadcasting pictures that we are seeing, and they would be looking at all the different angles as well. I'm actually quite amazed they've missed the encroachment side of things, because that, as Glenn said, is very, very clear and is one that we can look back on in hindsight and say that was an easy decision. The goalkeeper on the line, however, I still think there's fractions involved there, and the VAR would have been looking at that direction across the goal line, not from the back of the goal, because that may give you a bit of a false dynamic. But understandably, there'll be a bit of hardship in Wolverhampton this evening, because the encroachment one I can't defend.
Peter, do you think they've missed it because they're focused on the foot on the line, and they've actually missed? They've been looking at that
because of the rule change.
Yeah, because of the rule change, and they've missed the encroachment.
Well, there could well have been quite a deal of the process going through, looking at that new rule change and looking at that side of things. But ultimately, their training should have kicked in, and they should have realised there's 2 instances on a penalty, and they're looking for those 2 instances, and they've missed one.
All right, look, Peter, thank you very much. All this new technology, but it still comes down to human error at the end of the day, which is what this is, and it's cost Wolves dearly. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening. Before the penalty happened, of course, a brilliant run from Adama Traore. Another sort of strange old night for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the first half, I thought he was Wolves' best threat in terms of attacking and getting forward and creating opportunities. Here, he's just showcased what he does best, and that's run with pace at the ball. And Diego Carlos is no slouch, and the fact that his head's back and he's not catching him.
He gets 3 points for that in most city centres these days, by the way.
That goes faster than my car. But and he's running with the ball.
Yeah.
That's amazing pace, and the distance he's travelled there. Didn't see it in the second half, unfortunately. I was willing for him to get on the ball because they were so deep defending. He needed possession. He looked so dangerous first half, but second half...
There's some slight intelligent issues there, though, because he played a bit narrow, and then there was obviously going to be more space out wide and just isolate one defender instead of making it easy for himself to be marked. And as I said, as he gets older, a bit more mature, he'll understand that.
It's 2 things for me. I think he had to pick up better positions, but feed him the ball.
Yeah.
Give him the ball. He's proved what he did first half, and those defenders were backing off thinking, oh my word, I hope he doesn't get the ball. He didn't have it second half, and Wolves got penned in.
I want to talk to you about the defending for the goal that did stand and the goal that ultimately knocked Wolves out of European competition. Nuno was very honest there. He said, small details, I'm frustrated, we didn't focus.
Yeah, of course. He's not one to point blame at anyone. It's been a long season for all parties involved, and yeah, definitely you can get a little bit closer to the ball. But you still believe that you're going to be able to kind of defend the cross. Had they been doing all night, they defended numerous crosses and got there first, but the one time you don't, it ends up in the back of your net. And sometimes when you have got so much personnel back, everyone seems to think, well, you're doing each of his jobs, and no one gets tight enough to kind of get a first contact.
87th minute. The ball's gone back a hell of a distance. It's a short corner, but it's gone a hell of a distance back. Look how deep they are. They needed a leader in there. Up we come, get to the 18-yard box, and that goal doesn't go in. But fatigue levels come in because they'd spent 45 minutes defending. And if you see Bolly, he was so tired. He'd done well to stay on the pitch. I thought he'd done his groin. Yeah. He was walking out, whereas you needed Cody or someone just to shift the whole lot, shake them, get out. Yeah. And that goal it doesn't happen.
OK, right, we're going to take a quick break. We're also going to show you, before the European journey is over this season for Wolves, but let's not forget, though, just how good the journey has been for the past few years, and one man who's been there every step of the way since 2015, Conor Cody. Let's hear from him now with Reshman.
Conor, can you even put into words how you're feeling now and the way that ended in such a heartbreaking fashion?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's a tough one to take, honestly. It's something where it'll take a long time to get over, I thought. Listen, every single player in that team has left everything out on that pitch today, over the last year, and we said before we wanted to do something special, and we were very nearly there, but listen, it wasn't meant to be, and listen, we're gutted. I don't know how to explain it, to be honest with you. We're absolutely gutted. It's
not like Raul to miss a chance like that, but did that have a bearing on the game, the fact that you didn't get that early advantage? Because when you start well, it normally ends well for you. Yeah, I thought we started terrific. Listen, you put no blame on Raul Jimenez. He scored however many goals. He's massive to our team. It's nothing on Raul Jimenez. We should have not conceded. That's how we look at it. It's got nothing to do with Raul. He was fantastic again tonight. It's something as a team. We take winning, we take losing together. And listen, we've lost against a top class side. Let's put it that way. They're a top class side who finished 4th in the league or whatever it is and got Champions League football. So listen, I thought we pushed them, but we've left everything out on the pitch, and honestly I don't really know what to say because we're absolutely gutted. Yeah, no, I know it's difficult. I mean, there were calls for the penalty to be retaken. The Sevilla keeper looked like he was off his line, and they looked like there was encroachment from the Sevilla players as well. Did you notice that out on the pitch?
I know that's the first I've heard of that, to be honest. I think we'd have asked the question if we knew, but listen, you try and ask the question about anything against teams like that to try and get a little bit of an advantage, but we didn't know that on the pitch. That's the first I've heard of it. But there was a few sloppy ones all night, but we don't look at that. Listen, we've had a sucker punch in the 87th minute or whatever it is, and honestly, like I mentioned before, I don't really know what to say, because the competition we wanted, we said before the game we wanted to try and do something special, and we're absolutely gutted with how it turned out.
I know you've talked about how much you've enjoyed the European ride. I know it's been wonderful for you. How much do you want to be back playing this? I know you don't have it next season. How much desire does this sort of stir up to sort of get back to that and just do even better next season?
More than ever. I've loved every part of the competition. The competition's amazing. And if people are to say otherwise, they're telling you wrong. It's an incredible competition to travel around Europe, how we've done it. And by the way, I take very much pride in how our club's gone about it this year, because we could have gone about it different ways. We've took it in our stride. We said right at the start we didn't want to make up the numbers, and listen, we've got to the last stage. It's an incredible achievement for a team who was in the Championship 3-4 years ago. So we look at it, and we want to get back more than ever. We find it mad. I'm gutting how we're not in it next year when we got more points than last, so it's a bit mad, but we're taking on the chin and we go again next season to try and get better.
And how do you reflect on the last 13 months? What a season it's been, with and without the fans.
Pride in this club, proud of every single person who's involved with this football club and how they've gone about this season. I mean, how many games was that? 59, 60, whatever it was, and 59. The way the club's gone about it. We've just played Sevilla in a quarter-final of a Europa League and took them all the way to the hills, so you look at it, it's an amazing achievement, but we'll look back and, like I said, we're gutted. It's a lapse in concentration. You have a lapse in concentration in games like that, you get sucker punched, and that's happened, so we're devastated, yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to us, Connor. Thank you.